What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. As promised, we're back with more LC Carbine in 10mm testing. Today, we're going to be exploring the forbidden hand loads with this rifle. For anybody not familiar, this is a new release from Ruger. They released the LC Carbine in 45 not too long ago, but now we have the 10mm version. So we do have God's caliber and the best millimeter, both available in this carbine. This, in my opinion, is a very cool folding stock pistol caliber carbine. It's able to be fired with the stock closed. It's got M-LOK and QD all over it. It comes with backup iron sights pre-installed. Everything about it is pretty much fully ambidextrous. You can change around the charging handle to the other side. You can swap the way that this buttstock swings out or folds. You can swap the mag release to the other side, and it does have ambidextrous controls for the bolt drop and the safety. It has a very nice pick rail all the way down the whole length of that 16-inch barrel, that 16-inch threaded barrel. And you guessed it, she takes Glock-style magazines. I currently just have a very simple Romeo 5 on it right now, and that works pretty well. Now, as I already told you, we're going to be testing hand loads today. Ruger does say in their manual, like most manufacturers do not run hand loads or reloads. So they also say in their manual, do not run aluminum case ammunition, which I think is pretty junky, but I guess there's reasons behind that, supposedly. We will be testing that to see exactly what happens, but for now, let's just stick with the first forbidden one. We can do this because this is our rifle. This wasn't sent to us by Ruger or anything like that. We totally do independent testing. We are a no BS channel. We do what we want, we say what we want, and we bring you the truth. And the big truth is 10mm is a reloader's cartridge. It's really hard to afford off-the-shelf factory offerings of 10mm. If you want anything good like SIG Elite ammunition, the range stuff even, just the full metal jacket SIG that's actually loaded to real 10mm velocities and pressures, you're going to pay at least $40 a box for that stuff. It's very ridiculous. Hand loading, you're able to actually shoot 10mm very affordably. I know not everybody can hand load, but if you're going to shoot a lot of 10mm, it's a good idea to at least start with that cartridge, in my opinion. So what I have here are my hand loads. We have going from mild to pretty wild, and we've optimized most of these for the handguns that we use. Pretty much followed book recipes for everything, except for when we get to the very high ends, we've gone past redline just a little bit. So we don't advise anybody copying any of our recipes. When you reload, you have to make your own stuff, but some of the stuff does get pretty spicy. They are known recipes though. So I'm not going crazy, getting wild and going stupid. All this stuff that we have made here was made for the handguns. They've gone through the handguns with no problem. If they have a problem in this rifle, then that's a different story. And we'll figure it out real quick. And just to prove that all these rounds are at least pistol capable, we're going to run them through our XDM Elite 3.8-inch 10mm. This thing is a beast of a gun. It's already eaten all this ammo before, and that way I can prove to you that it runs through this. We're also going to run it through the chronograph so we can get an idea of the difference of velocities between our hand loads in the pistol and the rifle. I'm expecting a couple of these to get pretty wild out of the rifle. So the first offering today is the one we showed you when we debuted the rifle. It didn't quite like this. I think the velocity was a little bit too low. This is a 180 grain copper plated extreme bullet sitting on top of 5.5 grains of tight group. Again, do not copy the recipes, but I'm just giving you something for reference there. We've got 3 rounds loaded up here for the XDM just to see what kind of velocities we get and see how they get along with this gun. Oh, I didn't have the chronograph set because I'm new to it, so sorry about that. They shoot very nice out of this gun. We have exactly 1,000 feet per second. And truthfully, that's what I was going for with this ammo. This is light range ammo. It's basically for checking accuracy and just having fun bullseye shooting. I'll shoot another one. And we got 999.8. So pretty good. This gun likes it. Let's see how it does out of the carbine. All right, we're loaded up and ready to go. We already have one in the chamber. I'm going to go ahead and keep the stock folded because a lot of people ask if you can fire the gun like this. And yes, as long as your safety's off, you can. If your safety is on, you're probably not going to really get to it. That last one was 1179, so we did increase velocity out of the barrel. That 16-inch barrel. We got 1178 on that one. And surprisingly, okay accuracy without using a buttstock. The last one to read was 1197, but I wasn't giving it any time. So those actually ran better today than they ran the other day. The other day, they just could chug every now and then. They kind of didn't seem to have enough power to run the bolt. We did have one that I believe was a failure to eject. So safety off. And that felt really weird. That was like that was an odd little ka-chug that I had right there. And there again, just kind of a weird feeling. My hand loads are spot on, I can tell you that. But every now and then it just does feel just a little bit odd. Like that one. That one, it did not cycle. So, all right, next we have some Nosler jacketed hollow points, 150 grain. We have those loaded up with 11.5 grains of blue dot. So that's not max blue dot, but that's getting pretty spicy. Let's see what it says for the pistol. That's a lot of fire. We got 1312. 1317. And 1282. All right, Carbine's turn. We got 10 loaded up. I will promise to pay attention to the chronograph better than last time. That did not feel too bad. That was 1592. 1616. 1613. 1570. 1644. And we broke the target, so now I'm going to have to start shooting somewhere else. We got 1637. That's pretty significant. 1669 and 1604. 1600. 1643. And that's it. We have an open bolt. It ran it, and it ran it well. It felt pretty good. All right, now we have some nickel-plated cases. We have 150 grain Noslers again, but this time there are exactly 12 grains of blue dot behind them. So just a little bit more powder, but should get some more velocity and probably more fire out of it. I'm going to have to keep aiming low. Yes, definitely a good boom. 1361. That's fun. 1352. And 1364. Now we're in that weird range for the chronograph. Hopefully it keeps behaving, but we have 10 of those loaded up for this rifle. Oh, and that felt like a baby. 1679. 1674. And I'm actually missing the plate because I'm shooting straight through it. I forgot I already shot the center out. 1702. That's really good velocity. 1698. 1705. 1666. 1685. And 1712. 1668. 1693, and that's it. We are empty. It doesn't really let you know that it's empty. It's not like a typical AR-15 with a very long stroke and a bolt that just chugs its way closed, and you notice when it doesn't close. This one kind of, you just have to know when you have a dead trigger that it's locked open, unless I'm just not feeling it well enough. But that is a significant amount of velocity. I'm going to go ahead and call it right now and say that blue dot and this gun get along. All right, I'm a little bit sad to use all but one of these here today. This one is max blue dot for me. You can see I've changed it around once or twice, but that's 13 grains of blue dot behind a 155 grain Hornady XTP in new Starline brass. We always use new Starline brass when we make this recipe, so this one should breathe pretty good fire too. I have 3 rounds loaded up in the pistol. Oh yeah. 1423. 1417, and keep in mind that's a 3.8-inch barrel. And 1383. Holy moly, look at that. We're going to be in that weird threshold again for the chronograph, but hopefully it works out. And that doesn't breathe any fire out of that shot that I saw. 1714. Says 1714. Let me change something around here real quick on the chronograph. All right, so I set it to a different range of speed to try to pick up. Let's see if we get a different reading. That's actually an interesting little test for the Garmin itself. And we got a reading of 1714, so it's able to read it. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, the Garmin cuts it off at 1,700 feet per second, as it wants you to either pick below 1,700 or above 1,700 for rifle. So it's pretty much reading the same for both. Something definitely pinched me or didn't feel good back here, but everything still looks all right. That was 1716 and 1763. And that was it. We're out. So that locked back, that ran that. Too bad we don't have any more of that. Those are really fun, but we do have another really fun one here. All right, and I just want to show you something I oddly found out other than my dirty hands from picking into carbine things like guns. This rifle stock here with this riser actually cut into, there's still some fresh blood right there. That just cut into my cheek pretty good. That's actually very sharp. I'll be putting some kind of tape on that, but that little area right there, that is very sharp. So yep, fresh blood. That bit me pretty good. It didn't feel like a whole lot of recoil coming out of the gun, but boy, it sure did bite me pretty good. Right there, bit me right in the corner of the cheek. So notice I wrote hot in big letters here so everybody sees it. This is 16 grains of AA number 9 behind one of those 150 grain Nosler jacketed hollow points, and this stuff definitely is hot. All right, 3 rounds of that loaded up. Let's see what kind of fire we get out of this today. Yeah, not as bad as the blue dot, but it definitely feels a little stronger. Velocity is at 1331. So 1381. Yeah, definitely feels stout. We got 1420 out of that one. We'll go ahead and leave the chronograph where it's at for now. And that one did not change the chronograph. Let me get above it a little bit more. It might not be picking these up. It's not picking them up. I got to change that around, but it does feel good to shoot. All right, I switched it around. It might not have picked it up. It might be going that fast. And 1866, I got that nasty pinch in my cheek again. 1866 is no joke. I'm actually going to close this stock because I'm sick of getting hit in the face. So let's see how it handles really pretty good recoiling rounds with a folded stock. Got 1865. 1878.9. Wow. 1850. I can just hear that target back there rocking back and forth. And 1829. Jeez-a-loo, you can definitely feel it through this gun. 1835. 1847. 1854. It's empty. Yeah, mag's empty, gun's empty, and I still have my teeth. I didn't bust myself. But I'll show you one more time. I keep wiping it off my cheek. There's the blood from that little riser we got there. Very sharp. Might want to put a piece of anything on there. Well, there you go. She definitely likes hot ammo. She'll run the hot hand load. She's a steel-breaking fool. All right, there you go. Turkey's opinion approved for hot hand loads. Now, I hate saying this like this, but your mileage may vary, so be very careful when you're developing any kind of hand loads for any kind of gun. This is the hottest I will personally go with 10mm with both of these two powders. Other powders I mess with, but these two primarily, I don't think I really want to go any higher than that. You saw the velocities. That's plenty adequate out of a pistol and plenty adequate out of this thing for sure. The foot-pounds are enormous. Glad she was able to take it. There's a few quirky little things about this rifle, but overall, I really like it. Hope you guys are enjoying these videos and the information we're trying to bring to you. If you found it helpful, make sure you give us a thumbs up and maybe share it with somebody else who might find it helpful. Thank you for watching this video, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep shooting. Definitely some 10mm.